Hey, everybody, welcome to the Side by Side podcast presented by Side Stage Tour. I am your co host, Laura Landers, and this is the better half, Kelly Clark.
Hello. Not better half. We are
It's
in this
always better half, 100%.
together.
There's no debate about this.
Lies.
I'm the one that babbles 100 miles a minute, and you're the one that just holds it all together.
Whatever you say.
Well, today is an interesting one because I feel like I'm introing myself, but this podcast is going to be all about my first year as a spouse of a touring musician, what it was like, what I experienced, and that kind of gives you a fresh perspective of a newbie's life in this weird lifestyle that we are all living.
I am so excited to talk about you this time and hear about your side of the journey because it's been a full year, right?
It's been a full year at like New Year's Eve, and here we are at the end of December. So yeah,
Well, how do you feel right now?
a little older, a little wiser, a little wounded, and a little more glamorous. I don't know.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. I'm
Right.
cold.
I mean, it's pretty chilly. Okay, I have a couple of questions. Let's
Okay.
see how I do as the host this time. This is not my forte, but we are going for it and we are doing it.
You're gonna do
So,
fantastic.
thank you. I want to hear, and we, the audience, hello, audience, we want to hear a little bit about your story.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll keep it really short because stories could be 100 years, right? So
Yes.
Jordan and I have been married for 6 years. We always knew that his goal was to tour. So that wasn't out of the question. It just hadn't happened yet for at least me on my end. He had toured before, many years in the past before we got together, but it wasn't part of our lives when we got married. And it wasn't part of our lives until 1 year ago. So it was a very shocking experience. Nonetheless, I say that because we knew this was coming, but it just came really fast. The
Mm,
opportunity presented itself like a month before he started going on tour, and it was just like a 3-day trial period with this artist, and then they loved him obviously, and then it quickly became like from just that 3-day trial period to going on tour for the entire tour date, which in the country music world is like all the time. They're always gone, but it's never consistent. There's really no schedule in regards to a normal schedule. And then it quickly turned into him becoming the MD. And so it just like ramped up, right? So it's just like it was all so exciting at the beginning. And that was really fun because it was truly like the highest of high, right? We're like, you made it, you finally did it, this is what you wanted, and we get to celebrate this together. And then reality hit a few months later for reasons I can get into in a minute. But I would say that that's kind of the the story that I needed you to know, that perspective when we get into all of this, so you know where I was coming from.
yeah, it's like the beginning, which brought me to like sort of the middle. But let's take it on a. I'm going like this because it's like a roller coaster, right? It's really good, and then it's really not.
Yep.
So let's talk about some good times.
Yeah. You know what's so fantastic is like it really can be a glamorous, fun, sexy kind of life to go to some of his tour date locations and be with everyone and experience those big stadium tours and get to feel like you feel a little special because your husband's a little special because the artist is a little special, you know? So it's just like you get to experience those fun, tingly moments, right? And you're like, this is my life. This is so cool. My husband's doing amazing things. And obviously that means I get to do these amazing things because you're one, right? So it's like, I wouldn't say I had one major amazing highlight from the year, but I think all of those little experiences made the year, like you were saying, that roller coaster of like emotionally can get really low at times. And then at other times, you're like, I'm living the coolest life. Like, this is amazing. I wouldn't want a normal life ever. Like, this is hard, but exciting and fun and thrilling and always changing. And you can see those like last minute changes to your schedule that you could see those as bad things, or you could see them as really fun, good things. Maybe it just depends on where your mental health is at the time.
Right. Yes.
Up. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, I would say I had just those like mini highlights throughout the year.
I love it. Okay. Let's talk about we talked about some highs. This is a glamorous, lovely life that we get to live where we
Hmm.
get to travel the world, which is amazing, right? And
Hmm.
then we're at the high, and then sometimes we hit those low, low times. Can we talk about any like conflicting emotions that you might have had with that contrast?
I almost feel bad in saying this, but I think it's real. I feel like there were way more low times than there were high times. And a lot of those lows weren't necessarily low lows. They were just so like, let's say, well, at the beginning of the year, actually, when Jordan got offered to do those 3-day trial shows, I had planned on 2024 being the year that we paid off our debt. I like had this entire goal, right? The whole plan. And I was really excited for it. And then this happened. And I still was like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're still going to pay this debt off. And then it wasn't until I got really low, dark mentally. I was super lonely towards the middle of the year, I would say, when reality really hit, probably around April, May. I was really busy in like January, February with my brand's launch. And then after that, things kind of slowed down. And then I saw what my life was really like at home with my dogs alone all the time. And I realized that my mental health was so bad. And I think I mentioned this in a couple of our other podcasts that my home, which I love, became this jail cell to me
Mm,
because I was just home alone all the time. I also work from home. It turned me into a hermit, which I actually love being a hermit, but sometimes hermiting can be really bad, and this was really bad for me.
mhm.
And I didn't have the energy to go hang out with friends. I also don't have any really close friends here. So hanging out with friends here is almost like you have to turn on that energy bar a little bit more and
Like dating.
like dating. And I did not
Yeah.
have that energy. I was truly like, when I think about the past year, I didn't consciously think about this throughout the year. But now that I can look back, I definitely was in survival mode the whole
Mhm,
year. And I think when you're in survival mode, you have very low energy and you're needing to do the things that are really good for yourself. So I didn't know it at the time until I learned about halfway through the year that I had to travel. So all that money that we were going to pay off debt with, we spent it to travel for me once a month to go to a certain date and see some friends that live all across the country and then also see my husband. And it really did, though, change our financial plan. And that's a big financial plan to
mhm.
adjust. And to be fair, going into this next year, now that I know I have to travel like pretty frequently, unless like my job changes and I'm now working in an office and I don't feel like I need to go, whatever, right? Life changes. But as of right now, the plan is I've got to travel so that I don't start resenting him for being out while I'm not, all those little things. So I'm like, I guess it's just, we're not going to pay off debt again, which is kind of sad and kind of like, well, I'm pouring it into my mental health. So it's good. But like, part of my mental health is having good finances and that is paying off debt. So it's just like an interesting, I don't know, it's just interesting.
I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. It's like you have all these plans, and then the plans don't happen like you want them to. But this other plan is something that you need.
It's something that you need.
It's
And I really
something that
needed
you
it.
need.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that that's a low. Like it's good. I don't know. It's maybe not even a low. Like, I don't know.
It just kind of is.
It just kind of is.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
Okay. So you learn that traveling is key, which is huge. Different financial decision that you had to make. And we talked about these, we call it a roller coaster, or like emotional waves going up and down and up and down and up and down. Is there like a key thing between you and him that you learned that I guess kind of helped with the emotions or helped with the lifestyle, which is again a crazy, lovely, wonderful, glamorous, sexy life that we live when it's that way?
Yeah, I mean, this sounds so fundamental, but communication is key. And there was a time when my mental health got so low, dare I say the lowest it's ever been, which can be kind of scary to say and maybe disheartening for people listening, but I think that's just reality, right? So at some point it's going to get really low, and it got really low for me. I didn't know how to handle it. Was truly just shock, right? So the shock was so hard for me to handle that I wanted to just keep it to myself, like my dark thoughts. I just wanted to keep them to myself, which is
Like
so dangerous,
isolation.
in isolation. And I was just like, I can't let him know that I'm struggling because he's living his dream. Like, how sad for him. I don't want to put that on him. He doesn't need to know that, which is absolutely a big fat lie.
Right.
Like, you definitely need to communicate. So there was a time, like a couple days, that he was back. And I was like, well, I don't even want to tell him on the couple days that he's back because it's going to ruin his couple days before he goes
Yeah.
back out again.
Yes, that's another it's all the things. But
Yes,
that right there, it's like you want to be honest about all these things that you're going through, which they're coming off of this high from doing what they love. And then we get together and sometimes it's, well, I don't want to call it a crash and burn because that's not what it is. It's being honest,
yeah,
which we have to be honest. I mean, we've been married for how long? Six
yeah,
years for you, 12 years for me. Like being honest about how you're feeling and those emotions, especially in this life.
yes.
Especially, yes, we have to be honest.
So when I told him, he came home, and of course, I was just fighting with myself on telling him how I really was. Because we actually don't talk a whole lot while he's gone. I'm really independent. He's really independent. Like, we talk. And that was something we had to navigate throughout this past year, with finding our rhythm and how we communicate with each other. But when he came home, I was fighting with myself. I finally got the courage to be like, I really gotta tell you something. And I just told him how dark my thoughts were and how I'm really not doing well, but I want you to know that I absolutely love what you're doing. And it wasn't just that one time I ended up having to tell him that. It
Mhm.
was like over the course of maybe a couple months, like every time he came home, I was like, I'm still not doing well. Like, I'm surprised I'm still alive, to be honest. Like, this is really hard for me. Um, and he even told me at one point, he was like, I'm so scared that I'm going to have to quit because you're not doing well. I can't, he's like, I have to be a good husband. I have to take care of you. And if you're like having the worst time of your life while I'm having the best time of my life, like, that's not going to work. And I kept telling him, deep down, I really did know. I was like, I think it's just me working through this for the first time.
Mhm.
I was like, you don't need to quit. I don't want you to quit. I'm deeply very happy that you're doing what you're doing. No, I mean, hello, we want our spouses to be super happy. If they're super happy, then it's like, that makes us super happy, even though I was super unhappy. It's so strange.
It's beautiful to see, like,
Yes.
them as an element and doing what they love, and it's different than what we do.
Yes. And so it was a few months of that where I wasn't doing well, and he was honestly very concerned that I concerned that he would have to quit his career, but also concerned for my well-being. And then it got better. Slowly but surely, I was traveling a bit more. I had something to look forward to, which we have mentioned in our past podcasts, and it became more normal.
Mhm.
My emotional roller coaster stopped having such highs and such lows every time he left. And I started trusting my emotions a little bit more over time. And I think that's just what it is, right? You just like have to go through it, let it regulate your emotions.
It started to get better. You had things to look forward to. You started to travel.
Yep.
I There's a question that's not on our list, but so it's been a year, right? So how has it been not losing yourself? Like how have you had to navigate like kind of feeling like an identity attached to them versus who you are in yourself and what you do and what's important to you?
That's a great question. I think naturally you lose yourself a little bit when it's brand new and it's something that you're experiencing for the first time. Um, it is interesting just in the genre that Jordan is in, it's very like country. So you're actually treated like some, not everyone, and this isn't the artist, this is more just like the fans and stuff, but like you're kind of treated like less than, you're just the wife, like you don't have a name, you're just by
Jordan's
his
wife
side. Yeah, you're just Jordan's wife.
or
And
Jordan's girl
ooh, yeah.
over there. Little
Girlfriend.
girlfriend. Little
Yeah.
girlfriend. Not even
Oh,
girlfriend, that little girlfriend over there.
oh gosh, I haven't been told that to my face, but
Yeah, yeah.
you're
Ugh,
like, I
yeah,
have.
like me? Little
Like
girl?
I
Okay.
run this house. Yeah, I lost myself a little bit. I mean, yeah, I was about to talk about like Kourtney Kardashian losing herself to Travis Barker and dressing just like him, and I'm like, I mean, no, she's actually part of the community in a sense, so I'm like, not going to throw her under the bus because I think that's what happens at the beginning of all of this.
Mhm.
And I definitely had to. It was more towards the end of this year that I noticed that I kind of was, and even starting Side Stage Tour with you, I was like, well, this is attached to my husband. This is because of my husband.
Mhm.
And I was like, it's not like the feminist side of me was like, this, I'm not living my life for me. What am I doing? Even though I have like my own business and my own freelance business and all this kind of stuff, it just, you still kind of feel a little attached in
Mhm.
a way. So I'm still navigating it, but I'm getting out of it a little bit. I think that's because I have realized that I've just been in the house too much. I've just kind of survived throughout this year too much that now it's like, okay, I think I'm ready to thrive. I think I'm ready to switch from survive to thrive. So that
Yes.
means that I need to really like take the reins and see where I go on my own.
Oh, you're a vet now. It's been a year. It's true. It gets easier and easier, and then there's days where it's not easy at all.
Yeah.
Even, like for us, it's not 12 years of touring, it's 12 years of marriage, maybe 6 years of touring. And at the beginning, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do?" And then like, "No, I have things that I'm doing that are important to me, that are just as important as what he's doing over there, which is very important, but what we do is also just as important."
Yep.
What do you do, by the way?
Wait, what?
I said, "What do you do?"
Oh, well, I have a clothing line and I'm like, what else? Which actually I want to talk about that in regards to this year because it's been really interesting. Just like business ownership. But I also run a freelance business for social media management, website development, and design, and I creative direct. So yeah, it seems like a lot, but also it's not. Like I've been part time, and I think I'm ready to like full time it. So
Yeah. Laura
yeah,
built our Side Stage Tour website. It looks amazing. www.sidestagetour.com. She killed
that's
it.
right. Also, let's just plug in that in a couple weeks we're doing a giveaway for
Yay.
merch.
Yay.
That's right. So just look out for that on Instagram because you're gonna want to enter. It's gonna be free to enter, and you're gonna whoever wins gets a piece of merch. So Side Stage Tour merch.
Woo!
That's right.
Which she
Um,
also designed the merch. Throwing that in there.
yeah.
Creative mind. Such a creative woman.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
But I did want to touch on. So the first 2 months of this year, I was prepping to launch my brand, and I did launch it early March, and it was amazing and fantastic. And my mental health got so bad, like April, May, June, July, maybe a little bit of August, that I did not touch my brand after I launched it. Um, and it was interesting because a lot of people would ask me throughout the year, like, how's Engulf doing? How's your brand doing? And I didn't have the energy, the positive thinking to say, like, honestly, I'm not touching it right now. I'm not able to. I'm literally trying to stay alive. So I would just lie to them and I would just say, like, "Oh, it's great. Thank you so much for asking. I love being a business owner. I love running my business. I love what I do." And in fact, I wasn't doing absolutely anything. I couldn't set up an email marketing automation to literally save my life.
Those
Um,
complicated for no reason, though, to be fair.
Absolutely. And it's just the bane of my existence for some reason. I hate those. But now I feel like I'm able to say, actually, someone just texted me the other day who's also a brand owner, and they were just kind of checking in to see where I was in the business because they wanted to work together for something. And they asked how my year was. I was like, honestly, I barely touched the business. I was just like just trying to stay alive. I was just focusing on mental health.
Yeah.
And their response was like, that's amazing. Good for you. You should. And I was like, why couldn't I have just said that to people? Like, I'm just focusing on my mental health. I just didn't have the strength to
It's
do
the
it.
language. The language too.
I didn't
Yeah.
have the language.
The
Yes,
language. Mhm.
that's exactly right. So I just wanted to say that too. Like, not that everyone listening is a business owner and coincidentally is launching their business when their husbands start touring, but like, just give yourself the grace when you're going through something and give it to yourself for as long as you need, and don't pressure yourself into needing to be done emotionally with something by a date or anything like that. Like, you just got to go through it and go through it for as long as you need to go through it.
Absolutely. Give yourself some grace, people.
Yeah,
Give yourself grace. The grace, because we tend to give grace to everybody but ourselves.
absolutely.
Right. Give yourself some grace. Whatever that looks like, and like you said, however long that looks like, or however long that takes.
Yeah. And it was pretty long for me.
Mhm.
Like March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I would say 8 months.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
However long it takes.
Yep.
And again, you are here and you look amazing.
And I feel amazing.
Good. That is
Woo.
amazing. Yeah. Okay, let's put a pin on it. Let's close it. Or button on it. I think that's what the kids say. Put a button on it. Or do the old people say it? Could be just us. Or
I
me.
like
I'm
the
the
button. That's so theater of you. Like, put a button on
Ah!
it.
Let's put a button on it. Yes. Okay. Any more advice to those who are just starting this journey?
Yeah, I would say because everyone's in a different place in life. Some people are working from home. Some people have an office that they go to and they actually have camaraderie at their job. Some people are taking care of a loved one while their spouse is on tour. Some, whatever kid or parent or dog, or like, everyone's in a different part of life when this starts for you, if it is just starting or hasn't started or whatever. And I would say, since a word of advice is, it might not hit for everyone, I would just say make sure you're giving yourself grace, like we just said, but make sure that you are um, still focusing on yourself. It is not selfish to focus on yourself intently, because I feel like I really intently focused on my wellness and I felt at times very selfish. Like, my whole day, my whole schedule daily was like a morning routine, which is taking care of yourself. It was like working a little bit for my clients, right? Then it was meditate. Then it was work out. Then it was stretching. Like, those three things are taking care of yourself. Then it was eating something healthy. So then you have to focus on that or cook it or whatever, right? Like, it felt like cognitively, I was thinking about me 24/7. And in a way, maybe society has, or because we're married or whatever, it makes us feel selfish because usually we're focusing on someone else. But when you're
Mhm.
someone else is gone, it can feel selfish and it's not.
At all. Not
Yeah.
at all. No.
And I feel like a much better person now. And I do feel stronger now to get out of my hermit kind of rut and maybe start thinking about applying to jobs in an office. How dare I? Like, I haven't done that in like
Mhm.
5 years, and I maybe even 2 months ago, I would have never thought that I could get out of my own little bubble, my own little home bubble, And I'm now starting to want to get out of the house, which is very weird. So I'm like, oh wait, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means that I'm getting really healthy mentally so that I can have a stronger uh, pillar within myself to be able to handle more that comes my way, which feels really good. You can do
Well, you
it.
can do it. You can do it. 1 year in, 3 years in, 10 years in, you can do it.
Yeah.
There's a community for you. We are here for you. Side Stage
We
Tour.
are here for you.
We're here
We
for you.
are on Discord. We are talking on it daily, and
Yeah.
you need to join us because it's funny and reflective, and it's a great time.
Yeah. Laura Landers, everybody.
Ooh.
Like we need a woo.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
We have a Discord, all the things.
Look
We're
out
here.
for the giveaway.
Yes. 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 All
Okay,
right.
until next time.